Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. How are you, Miss Trouble Number One?
I am diddling just fine, trouble number two, and I trust you are diddling fine yourself.
Uh, well, I'm not going to say diddling, but yes. And I have brought some friends today for our movie. So
Well,
I would.
kind of thought you would.
I wonder why. I mean,
Yeah,
I have my little suit spritey earrings. I
yeah.
have my baby Totoro necklace. I have my, see if you can get on here. I have my smaller cat bus. I have a huge one that sits at the end of my bed that's about 2.5 feet long. I have one of my small Totoros. I have several much bigger as well. They're like huge, great big things. But I thought I would bring them along today. Oh, and this little cat bus actually has a little friend of the Totoro inside him. So I thought I'd bring them along to play with us today.
Well, yeah, because let's be honest, I think on this particular film, you will be taking the lead because this is your fave film, isn't
Um,
it?
what gives you that idea? Do you have any idea that I actually like My Neighbor Totoro? I mean,
I, it's just, there's this certain vibe about you, this happy go lucky, this is my film vibe. So that's why, I'm just going to sit here in the corner and let you get going, girl.
no, it's a two-parter here. Especially since you are a newbie when it came to watching it, so you're a really good feedback sounding board to what you thought of it. My neighbor Totoro basically is two little girls and their father move out into the countryside in this older, needing to be cleaned up house. And one's about 4.5, 5 years old, and her name is May. And then her older sister, who's maybe about 9, her name is Satsuke. And they are the most energetic children you have ever seen in your life. It's like they can't sit still to save their lives. Um, and we go through the story of them. And when the sister eventually goes back to school, once they've all moved in and everything, we go through the part of the younger sister kind of being, well, she she's lonely, and we find out why she's lonely was not only does she miss her sister, but their mother is in the hospital. And even though it's not necessarily said what she's in the hospital for and has been for a while, there are a lot of hints in the movie that let you know she's in there because she has tuberculosis. You know, there's one part in the film where they get a emergency telegram saying that mom wasn't going to come home for a visit. They were trying short home visits for a bit, and everybody freaked out. Well, it turned out it was just a cold. So there is kind of your first thing about, okay, the coughing, we don't want her to get worse. That's one of the tuberculosis things. The other thing is the hospital that she's in is very open air, which is kind of a traditional, way to help treat tuberculosis. And there's just other hints throughout the movie as to what she has. But little May, the little 4-year-old, she's totally, like I said, upset because her sister's, gone to school. She's lonely, and she's all excited. And there's one part in the movie which we will discuss that she's super excited because her big sister had made lunch for everybody. It was the first time she had had like a special bento box lunch, and she was playing around outside as poor dad's trying to sit there and work because dad is a college professor and overwhelmed. And even though he never says it and is an amazing father with these kids, you can tell he has two very energetic children who he spends a lot of time with, just, no questions asked, total dad, total in there. But then there's other points during the time he's trying to get work done, and little May's bouncing around. Is it lunchtime yet? Is it lunchtime? We could say, because she wants to eat that bento box. And all of a sudden, May notices acorns. And she looks around, she follows these acorns like little kids do. And she finds underneath the porch this mystical creature. And she starts chasing the mystical creature. And then all of a sudden, there's another one. And the one that's slightly bigger has like a hobo sack over his shoulder. And it has full of acorns. And they're both trying to run. And they can disappear in and out. But she follows them into an overgrown, like brushy area down a little tunnel. And she winds up almost in a mystical world where she finds this humongous, gigantic Totoro, a big, big, big one. And she's not scared. She's like, oh, and she gets up there and she's picking on the poor sleeping fat Totoro. She climbs up on him and she's poking his nose. And like all of us do when we're asleep and our nose gets tickled, it's like making the wrinkly face and trying to wave it away. And she keeps doing it. And pretty soon, this gigantic creature sneezes. And just, everything is just blown back and the hair is blown back. And after that is kind of funny because she's still not scared, climbs back up. And the Totoro, it's a sleepy Totoro, and he keeps going back to sleep. He falls asleep on top of him. And to me, that is the epitome of trying to go to sleep. Wouldn't you love to crawl up on a nice, soft, fluffy, furry something that's slowly breathing up and down, and you sink into it and snuggle into it and go to sleep? And later on, the sister comes home, Satsuke comes home, and she's like, oh, well, where's May? And Dad's like, I don't know where she is. We haven't even eaten our lunch yet. So they freak out and start, trying to find her. And Satsuki figures out that, she may have gone through this little opening in the brush. She goes in there and she finds her asleep in this really kind of beautiful hidden dome of all the tree leaves and stuff. And she finds her asleep on the ground. Nobody else, is around. No Totoros, no nothing. And she is kind of a little bit pissed off at her sister. Why are you sleeping out here in the middle of? You scared us. Yeah, and the sister's trying to explain that she saw a suit sprite. I mean, sorry, that she saw a Totoro, and it's like she's trying to tell her dad they followed them in, and Dad's like, well, I think what you saw was a forest spirit, and they only let you be seen if they allow it. Later on down, we go through all sorts of different little ups and downs, and you know, and like I said, mother's in the hospital, and they get the telegram. Well, one of the things with the telegram is um, when they found out there was nothing really wrong with mom, she just couldn't come home because of the issues. Little May throws an absolute fit because she was so excited that mom was coming home. And it's not fair. It's not fair. And I understand where the little girl was coming from. She was so excited to see mom. But she was throwing such a fit, and I'll get onto it later. But I'm watching the characters go back and forth between May and Satsuki, and I'm looking at my kids, exactly looking at my kids. But May decides to go to the hospital 3 miles away on her own walking. Can you imagine a 4-year-old, or excuse me, it was 3 hours away walking? So
You're an adult.
for an
For
adult,
an adult.
exactly, because early on, Dad had taken them to see them on the bike, and that was one tremendous father to be pedaling that bike with both those kids on the bike, May on the handlebars and Suzuki on the back. But little May decides, okay, that's it. I'm going to see my mom. She's going to get this fresh piece of corn no matter what, because Granny, the friend who kind of helped babysit and helped, kind of keep an eye out, had grown lots of vegetables and things like that, and had given her one of the stalks that rears the corn. So all of a sudden, they try to find May, and they can't find May. It's like, what's going on with May? And they realize, okay, she's lost. And, the entire like area, the people that are in that area try to find her, and they're looking everywhere, and they find a little sandal in a pond, and they're like, oh, something bad happened. So they wound up catching up with Satsuke, and they asked Satsuke, "Is this May's? Is this her, sandal?" And she says, "No, it wasn't." And the relief on everybody's face that no, it wasn't. Granted, they hadn't found her yet, but she hadn't been in the pond because they were like looking with sticks. You know how when you're looking for a body or something that you think is in a pond of water, they eventually find her, and she's still, I want to go. I want to go see my mother. And in the process, right after this, Dad, it was a rainstorm, and Dad had left his umbrella at home when he went to work, probably because he didn't think it was going to rain during the day. So they decided to go take the umbrella to the bus stop, to meet him at the bus stop when he comes home from work. And they're standing there, and the rain is just pouring down and pouring down. And all of a sudden, here you see this big Totoro walk up underneath the umbrella. All we can see is the feet. And he's kind of upset because the tree above him keeps dropping raindrops on him and dropping. And I don't know if you saw it, but he has a leaf on his head, and they kept dropping on the leaf and dropping on the leaf. And he started to get irritated with it. And so the girls gave him the Dad's umbrella to kind of try to keep it off him. And it was still dripping on him and dripping on him because he's so big, it doesn't really stop. But probably he just jumps up and down real big and shakes the ground so hard that all the drops of the trees come down into just an absolute, like a huge gust of just rain. And all of a sudden we see coming these, we think they're headlights, but they're not headlights. They're actually headlights from a cat bus. And he's bouncing along. And he is the transportation for the Totoro. They have their own transportation. So as May and now Satsuke get more into the world of these spirits, and now they've seen them multiple times, and May comes and she says, I desperately want to go see my mother. So all of a sudden the cat bus excuse me, the cat bus comes, and they're like, because Satsuke was on it, and May was out and about and walking. Satsuke says, well, you know what? She's talking to the cat bus, and like we found her, and everything. But the cat bus has this little sign that clicks over, and it's like, I want to be able to go to the hospital to see my mother because the cat bus was going to take them. And so the cat bus took them all the way in, and they're up in this gigantic tree, and they're watching their mom and dad. It's like, oh, yes, it was, it's just a cold. I'm sorry, I'm here. And all of a sudden, Mom looks out the window, and she goes, funny face in her, funny look on her face. And Dad's like, what? She goes, I thought I just saw Satsuke and May up there in that tree. But of course, that's not possible. Dad looks down on the windowsill, and there's the corn that May had. And in it, she had etched in the corn husk for Mommy. Yeah, and it kind of, ends there as far as on a happy note. So that was a very long-winded, short explanation of the movie. So go ahead, Aisha.
What is it to say? What is it to say? Let me see now. Satsuke.
Now we can break it apart.
Eh?
Now we can break it apart.
Oh, can I break it apart? Can I really break it apart? It's one of those movies that, as you said, I've seen most of the Ghibli films, but this is one that I hadn't gone near because it came out at the same time as Grave of the Fireflies. So this is one of the films that if Grave of the Fireflies got shown first, people would hang around to watch this film. But if this film got shown first, people would start to watch Grave with the Fireflies and bail out, shall we
Mm-hmm.
say. So I'd never got round to it. I'd seen Grave with the Fireflies. I'd seen most of the other films. I'd never got round to this one. All I'd ever heard of it was the urban myth. And the urban
Ah.
myth was, if you ride the cat bus, you have to be dead. Don't ask me where it came from. It's just an urban myth that I heard. And it's also another urban myth that it's to do with the murder of two little girls in 1950s Japan. And I approached it with this attitude. I'm thinking, well, okay, I've heard these urban myths. Let's just run this through. And to be perfectly frank, as you say, little May, to put it politely, she's one of those kids that would run you ragged on a good day.
Yep.
She would, and Satsuke is the same. Satsuke is not as old as Chihiro from Spirited Away,
Mm-hmm.
but have you noticed there's a slight difference between when Totoro came out and Spirited Away come out between the two characters?
A slight difference, yeah.
Yeah, if you look, Satsuke is very svelte. She's whereas if you look at Chihiro, she's a bit more rounded, almost the same as the young May is.
Yeah.
Which to me is another reason why when she breaks down, when she loses May, and she cries on Granny's shoulder, I think that is the stress of not having Mum around. Although she's exuberant, and though she's bouncing around like a ping pong ball in a tornado, shall we say, I think she's stressed out. And the way it comes through to me is there's no weight business. That she's felt. She's not as rounded. You mean you look at all the other kids in the school?
Yeah.
A bit more meat on them, a bit more rounded. Suzuki's not as rounded as the rest of the kids.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think she has taken on the mother role, for lack of a better word, because
Yeah.
even in one part we see where you know Dad had overslept, and he gets up and everything and gets down there, and he's like, "I'm sorry," and here is Satsuki, and she's making. Not only did she make breakfast for everybody, but she made lunch for everybody.
Yeah, she did the
Yeah,
bento boxes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love bento boxes, but
Yeah. So yeah, there's that behind it. It's an enjoyable film. I mean, it's 88 minutes of pure fantasy. Let's be honest.
I think it's a little bit more than pure fantasy. I think there's a lot more encompassed in that we see. Like, if you look closely, you do see Dad being a little overwhelmed by not having Mom, especially if you look at his office. Behind his office
Oh
is
yeah,
all tops hugely full of books and paperwork, and
I had
he
noticed that. Literally within a couple of days of moving in, that office looked like a bomb had hit it.
yeah,
In polite context, I mean,
exactly, exactly.
it's there. Everything is everywhere. And it's little May again when they first move in the house. It's little May when she first finds all the suit sprites.
Oh
Your
yeah.
fave
Ninja
anime
Cookie.
character, the soot sprites, or as Granny calls them, dust bunnies.
Yep.
She calls them dust bunnies and soot sprites, and they multiply in empty houses.
They multiply in my house, and in my house is the farthest thing from empty. There are dust bunnies
They
and food
well,
sprites everywhere.
exactly. I tend to disagree with Granny with that one as well. I think somehow the soot sprites have mugged my cleaning fairy because I've got dust bunnies and bloody all over the place. But hey ho, by the by. Um, but it's the
Here's
way that, Granny
here's the
says they move out when you come in, you
yeah
know.
now here's a question. Here's one of the first trivia questions. In what other movie that we have reviewed have you seen a suit sprite? And this was the first encounter of a suit sprite.
Well, the film that we have reviewed that's got soot sprites in it that I can honestly say look like soot sprites would be Spirited Away.
Exactly. Especially the little suit sprite trying to carry.
Lumps
Remember
of
the
coal.
rock?
Yep, the
Yeah.
lumps of coal.
Yep.
The
That was
hero
the.
has great difficulty picking up, let alone these
I
soot sprites
know.
doing it.
And that was the first time we ever saw a suit sprite inside a Miyazaki film.
Well, no, other way around actually.
No.
First time we reviewed one
Okay, the first time we reviewed one, but I'm talking about
with
when
soot sprites
when,
because
when
this
movie.
came out before Spirited Away.
Okay, um, because
Yeah, I know.
Spirit,
Confused? You better believe it. We are confused. You
Spirited
think we
Away.
know what we're doing? We don't. This is on the fly.
Well,
And to be perfectly frank, with this particular film, it's all going to be her because she's nuts on this film. Absolutely inside out, up, down, roundabout. I'm just coming along for the ride.
well, I think I kind of mentioned this last week when we were doing Grave of the Fireflies, and because this was the accompanying film to it, I had mentioned my daughter from the time that she was born. Um, we had her favorite movie was My Neighbor Totoro, and by the time she was a toddler, that's what she could speak. She could speak Japanese, and she could understand it. I didn't have to put, obviously as a toddler you can't read, so I couldn't do the subtitles. It couldn't be sub. Um, and she prefers when it's been like re-released in the theaters for like the special showings here and there. We do have that in the United States, at least here in California. We have Ghibli night every once in a while. It'll come through, and then it'll pick certain Ghibli films, and there's always two showings. One in the original Japanese, and the second one that is dubbed in English.
Yeah.
And she always prefers to go to the Japanese version. She did that with Princess Mononoke as well.
Yeah, me too. When I watch it in the Japanese. I don't watch it. I watch it English sub, not English dub, as I've explained before.
Yeah.
The Japanese have ways of saying things and doing things. And no disrespect to America, but the Americans have their own way of speaking and doing things. And when you have an English dub version with the Americans, what they're saying doesn't always match with what's on the.
Right.
It's the
But
same actually with the dub version, with the sub version on this. A lot of the time, she doesn't say Suzuki's name. She says Onisan, which is like older sister.
right.
But they put up the name, so it
One
works.
thing
It works both ways. It works both ways.
one thing I thought was really wonderful in a way when they chose the voice actors and actresses for the for the dub version, they kept it within the family.
Yes,
Both the
they did.
sisters,
Yes.
the older sister was played by Dakota Fanning, and
Yep.
May was played by her younger sister Ellie Fanning.
Correct.
So
Correct indeed.
they still kept that family bond going.
Yeah, that family tie. But what got me was, how when you go into Japanese house, take shoes off,
Yes.
right? Well, the girls are in the house and been running around like idiots, and they go out in bare feet to get water.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come running back in, surely they're covered in more mud and dragging the mud in, which they're not supposed to do.
Like I said, I think at that point, Dad was so overwhelmed he didn't notice half the time. Because
Yeah,
early on, when they first moved there, and they're looking around, and he's inside the house, and it's not even been cleaned yet. He's like, "Don't forget to take your shoes off, girls, before you come in."
Yeah, exactly.
But then later, I think Dad was so overwhelmed with what he was doing, he didn't care. He didn't even notice. And kids being kids, and now they're in the countryside.
Yeah,
A
they're in and
little,
out like
yeah, it's a little bit
yeah.
different than living in the city.
There was one thing that bugged me about this film, and it's very small, very annoying. You know when Suzuki goes out to pick up the firewood, and the
Yeah.
wind blows and blows all the wood out.
How many dust? Okay, Michael, how many dust bunnies have you found since you had to switch rooms there for a bit? I bet you found a lot.
Yeah, um, the wind blows all this wood out of Suzuki's arms. But did you notice all the wood on the floor never moves? It
Oh, I
does not
know.
move 1 inch. And you sit there and think, okay, what's going on? Okay, it's a small thing, but it just annoyed the hell out of me. I thought, well, if the wind blew it out of her arms, surely then what's at her feet would also be moved, and she'd have to go picking that up. But no, it doesn't.
No.
You know. But
One of the things you had mentioned early on was all these quote unquote conspiracy theories and different things.
yeah,
Studio Ghibli actually had to come forward in the 90s, or yeah, I believe it was the 90s, and actually say, no, it is not built on this conspiracy of different things happening. However, I am a conspiracy aholic as well, and I'm sorry, there are so many connections to it, it does not make sense. And you were right. The theory is that it was based after a young lady that was murdered, a 16-year-old girl who was, um, well, raped and murdered. I don't particularly like to use the word rape on air, but on her way home from school. And so they're thinking, that's the possibility. And here's the thing, this particular incident happened in May. May's name, for one. And if you didn't know, Satsuki in Japanese means May.
hmm. No, I didn't know.
Oh, gee, something Japanese I actually know that you didn't know. But yes, this attack took place May 1st in 1963.
Mm.
And there's been controversy and everything, and the actual suspect was finally arrested like 30 or 31 years later.
Tell you what, there is one, but also a single part in the film where I do have to say, May did make me laugh when she's out playing before she spots all the little white Totoro and the slightly larger Totoro with the sack.
Hmm.
She's playing in some water, and there are, so we say, certain things within the water,
Yes, I was
and
going to
it's what
mention
she
that.
calls them. Do you remember what she calls them?
Mm, no, because in my mind, I just immediately go, oh, they're tadpoles.
Yeah, but no, she calls them poletats.
That's right, she does. Poletat. She's
Yeah,
backwards on it.
she calls them poletats.
Now,
Talk about a way. Well, she had the right idea.
now
I must be honest. I had to laugh at that. I did.
here's a question for you. When you were a little girl, did you go chase them?
Hell no.
I can
I
remember.
hated the damn. I hated the damn things. Ugh.
Oh, I love frogs. I love polywogs. Yeah, which is another name for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
No, I
was
mean,
like I would go looking for those and salamanders, and that was my summer.
no, I mean,
Going into
I
that.
can't. I did when I was in Hong Kong. I didn't mind the chit chat so much. I could handle the chit chat. But when it comes to frogs and toads and things, it was a case of, uh, ooh, no, go away. Not. Don't want to play with you today. Just bugger off. I'll do something else somewhere else. Anyway, my favourite part of the show. I'm going to now show you real life locations for Totoro,
Ooh,
if you so desire.
I would love to.
Right. Here we go. Real life locations for Totoro. Are we ready?
Roll 'em.
Right. Here we go. And we go first all the way down to Totoro no Mori, the woods. If you're a Totoro fan, this is what it says here. You have heard of Totoro no Mori, or Totoro's Forest, located near Sayama Hill, near Tokorozawa. Totoro's Forest is a 30-minute train ride from the, here we go, Ikakabuki Station. It makes for a lovely hiking trip. So you do have to go hiking if you want to see the forest. But then you carry on down and you have Kurosuke's house. And you can stay at this little place, apparently. You visit with a registration fee of 500 yen. It has this should be for you. They'll have to make sure they've got it when you leave, though. They have a big Totoro statue outside that you can have your photograph taken with. So if you go visiting Liz, leave the statue behind, please. They need it for everybody else. Also, other Ghibli goods are available for sale. And the house itself is registered as a tangible cultural property. And any funds it makes goes towards preserving the forest.
And I believe, if I'm not correct, I don't mean to interrupt you on that, but I believe, if I'm not correct, that Miyazaki is on the board for that, correct? Is that the one he's on the board for?
He probably could be. He probably could be. The next one we have is this, Harajuku. Now, this is because of the name of the forest in the first place. You see, when you look at that, you see, what's that got to do with Totoro? Well, that's what it's got to do with Totoro. And we have our friend May chasing the two smaller Totoro, the little white one, and there's your one with his hobo sack over his shoulder.
Yep, dropping acorns.
Dropping acorns as they go. Exactly.
I swear to God, these two Totoro are not the smartest two in the bunch.
Oh, no. Actually, the first one she spots is the little white one.
Yeah.
Who does try to disappear, but doesn't quite do it right. The other little blue one just doesn't bother. He just up and legs it. And of course, then you move on to Hichikamoyama Park. And this is in the movie. Satsuke's May's mother is hospitalized in the hospital, and the area where the hospital is based on is actually around this area.
Oh, okay.
It's a play on words, actually, from watching the movie to what you see on the screen there. And it's the kanji is the 8 is changed to a 7. And it's located on the border of Tokyo and Saitama Hichikawa Park. And it's recognizable in the scene where Mei and Satsuke and their father ride the bicycle to visit the hospitalized mother. Okay, so in the film, it's right, the hospital's right, it's next to the park, but in reality, it's not, unfortunately. And when our little May is on the travel, you see her go to sleep next to the 6 Jizo, which is the guardian deity of children, statues. The statues actually exist in this temple. They are actually within the temple.
Was the temple constructed around them at that point to protect them?
I don't know if it was constructed around them or they were moved in there afterwards.
Okay.
But this temple is surrounded by trees. And these trees are over 600 years old.
Wow.
So all these trees you see here that surround this temple, over 600 years old.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then you have the bonuses for this lot
Yeah.
is the bus stop. This is the Inamarishi bus stop, which is one of the most memorable scenes. Uh, Obviously, it's where the two girls, Big Totoro with the umbrella, when he jumps up and down to get the rain bouncing off the umbrellas. This is where they're waiting for. Now, in the film, you have it's in the woods, but the actual bus stop, as you can see, it's got a rice paddy behind it.
Yeah. I think the movie setting was probably sometime in the very early 50s.
Yeah,
That's kind of the
50s and
impression.
60s.
Yeah, it's kind of the
Yeah,
impression that I got.
yeah. But if you want to take a picture of a slightly more, shall we say, correct scene, you can always go to this one.
I think that's amazing that that's there.
This is the Totoro bus stop in Oita. Uh, it's Sakai City and Oita Prefecture. And the district, the actual district is called Totoro. That's the name of the district.
Is it really? So was
Yes.
all of this created after, including the bus stop, was it all created after the movie came out? Because this
Uh,
movie, of any Ghibli movies, or just about any, even Disney movies, is known worldwide.
yeah. But the small community bus stop is decorated with illustrations of Totoro, Mei, and Satsuke, and has become popular tourist destination. Near the bus stop is a park called Totoro's Forest again, which has a large cutout of the cat bus and dozens of
No,
tiny
you
rock
mean him?
figures of Totoro, which have been left behind by Totoro fans. So
I'm not. I'm just so you know, I am definitely not a Totoro fan.
I would never have guessed you being a Totoro fan, not in one iota do I classify you as a Totoro fan. No
No, not at
way.
all.
No way.
So,
But
yeah.
that's some real life locations. If you ever go or get a chance to go to Japan and you want to visit some of these wonderful sites, there you go. You have to go to certain prefectures. It's a bit of a travel, a bit of a wander, but you can visit the proper sites that the movie is based upon.
Did you know, going back to this early on, this was a concept that Miyazaki had in the 70s. And initially, it was only supposed to be May, and excuse me, not May, but Suzuki. It was only supposed to be her, but the more he started to flesh it out, the more he realized this concept is not going to work well with only one person.
Mm,
So that's why May came in as well, to kind of
yeah,
include both sisters.
well,
And
exactly. But I mean,
so,
financial wise, up to about 2021, $41
hmm,
million earned.
yes,
And what I didn't know, did you know there's a follow up to this?
yes, I have seen it.
You have seen the follow up to it.
I have seen the follow up. It is very hard to get a hold of, but I have.
Yeah, it's not been released on any media.
Um, for a
According to this, the sequel, which is called Mia or May and the
hmm,
Kitten Bus,
yep, and it is cute. It is really cute.
and
I was
it's only 13 minutes though.
yeah, it's very very short. It's not very um filled out or made quite as beautiful. It was almost like these were stills that they had put together to kind of get this out as a concept and an idea.
Yeah,
But it's really cute if you can find it. if I can find it again, I will see if I can give it to you. I was given it originally by one of my friends who live in Japan, and they had found it on some sort of a not a Ghibli site, but somewhere that they were doing like one of the writers or creators or something of it, more of the back stuff had done it.
Yep. Also, just like Spirited Away, it has a stage adaptation.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think it just had another release as well with that stage
Yeah, well,
adaptation.
in May 2020, from what I write here, the Royal Shakespeare Company, you can't get much better than that in Britain,
Nope.
and composer Joe Hiashi announced a stage adaptation, My Neighbor Totoro, which would run from 8th of October 2023 at the Barbican in London. It was adapted by the British playwright Tom Morton Smith, and the tickets went on sale on the 19th of May, breaking the theatre's box office record for sales in one day, which was held previously by Hamlet, which certain Benedict Cumberbatch had been in. The show won 6 Olivier Awards, apparently. Now, on March 2023, 30th of March, it was announced that the production will return to the Barbican for another run. And it will begin on, or it began on the 21st of November 2023. And it ran all the way through until the 23rd of March 2024.
Yep. See, they're agreeing. They're agreeing with it.
Yep. So it's certainly held on to its position. It also, in 1989, it won 6 prizes. Only 6 prizes that I've got it down for. And the award was for the Kinema Junpo Awards. It got the best film and the Reader's Choice on that one. And in the Mancini Film Awards, he got best film and the Ofuno Nubero Award, whatever that is. And then also it got a Blue Ribbon Awards special award, and then it got the Anime Awards. It got the Grand Prix prize. That's the 6 ones that it's won. But also, shock horror, its first sub or English dub version was by the same people that did the sub version for Spirited Away, which was Streamline Productions.
Yep.
And again, it was done for Japan Airlines. So, you know, it's certainly done awfully well for that. The English dubs Disney version has a star-heavy cast, including Timothy Dalton.
Yep.
Pat Carroll as a granny. And Frank Walker as Totoro and the Cat Bus. The songs for the new dub retain the translation as the earlier dub, but they are sung by Sonia Isaacs. So I don't know how much different they are from the original Japanese version. So
I don't hear a difference. I really don't. Like I said, my daughter could do it in both, but then again, I kind of was able to do Speed Racer in Japanese long before I could do the American version.
Yeah,
you know, and I was already an adult when that came out.
The soundtrack to this, actually, the musical soundtrack to this, there are 20 tracks that they have. The longest one being My Neighbor Totoro, the ending theme song. And that lasts a whole 4 minutes and 17 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Total length of the music soundtrack, believe it or not, is only just over 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yeah, that's the musical soundtrack. It's not that long. So in Japan, the first track actually, Hey Let's Go, um, is by Tokuma
You
Shoten.
had to say that. I'm over here singing the song as you're doing it.
Oh, I see. Okie dokie.
Did you
Um,
know that originally it was supposed to be a book?
it is a
It was
book.
supposed to be a manga. Yeah, a manga.
It
Mac.
is a
I
light
can't.
novel.
I
Um,
can't even say it this morning.
yeah, it is a light novel of all things. So
Hmm.
you can get it a light novel. It's a 4 volume series actually.
Which I have.
Which oh well, there you. Well, would I think anything different from a fan? Would I
I'm
think
not a.
anything different from a fan?
I
All
am
I
not a.
got,
I'm not a fan, for God's sake. I mean, do I look
no,
like a
no,
fan? No, no, no.
you, no, you're a stalker.
Pretty much.
You're a
Yes.
All I've got is DVD Blu-ray. That's all I got. DVD
And
Blu-ray.
I have coffee cups and other things as well, but we won't go into all that.
No, okay, we won't go into all that. If you go to the Ghibli theme park, you can actually go to a reproduction of the house that they live in.
Yeah, I think that's very cool.
Yeah, so do I.
You
So
know,
do
there is a bakery that is a only certain amounts can be made through that do all the baby Totoros and the jiggly bread, and they're stamped and marked and the whole bit.
all right. I see. You
I
see,
want to go there.
when Streamline did it, they didn't keep the family connection with Satsuke and May.
Oh,
You see, the Disney version, as you say, had Dakota Fanning and Ellie Fanning.
yeah.
In the Streamline version, it's Lisa Mitchelson does Satsuke, and Cheryl Chase does May. So
Okay.
yeah, there's also several uncredited actors in the Streamline version, i.e., the person that does the cat bus is uncredited. The person that does Miss Sahira, the teacher, and who's also Kanata's aunt, she's uncredited in it. And Otoko is also uncredited, as is the mailman.
Oh,
Whereas
uncredited.
they're all uncredited. Whereas in the Japanese version and the Disney version, everybody that appears is credited.
Oh,
So,
okay.
makes you wonder, doesn't it?
I've got to say, every time especially now that my kids are older and have gone through this age, every time I look at this movie, all I can see, especially not so much my nephew, but I can definitely see my niece and my daughter because they were raised not necessarily as cousins, but more as sisters. And the inner fight kind of back and forth that, like May has, or when May, has her little breakdown of it's not fair. I am literally hearing back and forth disagreements from my kids. Everything in that movie brings so much forward to my kids. Even to the point of, teasing the little boy because it was very obvious Suzuki liked the little boy liked her. Yeah, and that was definitely how, at least when I was growing up, how boys and girls would act to each other. Yeah. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, it says here, It was directed by Miyazaki. It was written by Miyazaki.
Mm-hmm.
It was produced by Toru Hara. It was edited by Takashi Sayama. It was released in April the 16th, 1988.
Wow.
It runs for 86 minutes.
And did you know? I know it was written, produced by Miyazaki, but it also was pretty much based on a majority of Miyazaki's life. From that rural setting. It was kind of where he grew up. His mother had tuberculosis, so she was in the hospital. She did live, but whereas I think we had did when the wind rises, a young lady that had tuberculosis and that didn't. But there's so much of Miyazaki that was put into this that is his own story. I think almost more so than some of the others that have ever been done.
Yeah, I think the only other one that I suppose you could say where Miyazaki's life, as you rightly pointed out, is Wind Rises with
Yes.
the tuberculosis part in that film as well.
Here,
This
here
one,
is,
this
oh,
one
go
she
ahead.
survives, whereas in Wind Rises, the TB patient doesn't survive.
Yeah, which was a predominant case at the time. You
Mm.
know. Here is trivia question number 2 for you. Um, I already said before, I truly feel, and I think there's a lot of data that'll back me up, that Totoro worldwide is known almost more than the majority of Disney movies. Maybe some of the early Disney movies like Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella or something might outrank it. But modern day culture for like the last 40 years, I think Totoro would be the number one. But can you tell me what other movies Totoro has made a appearance in?
Probably, don't quote me on this. Probably Pompoko be one of them.
Correct.
Can't think of any others unless I missed it on Princess Mononoke, but I can't see that being the case.
No, no.
Go on then.
It was in Kiki's Delivery Service, and I believe I mentioned that when we were reviewing it. And speaking of Disney, I've got to give them their credit where credit is due. He was in Toy Story 3.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
Oh,
The big fluffy gray fellow. Not the
I,
super big one, but kind of,
I've not
yeah.
been a Toy Story fan. I remember Toy Story, and I think I watched Toy Story 2. I never got around to Toy Story 3, to be honest. So I probably missed that one.
So,
I'm not a Toy Story fan. I mean, I got a hard job watching Cars. I'm sort of.
Earl, I'm sorry. Cars to me is probably one of my all-time favorite movies. And then when it goes on, I believe it was Cars 2,
Yeah,
because I am a humongous fan of Deadliest Catch.
there's
So
three
when
actually. And there's three movies of Cars, isn't there?
yeah, but I think it was number 2. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of Deadliest Catch. And they had the Northwestern on,
Yeah.
and is as a, well, like the cars, they're humanoids. Well, humanistic, I guess is more the better word. But so,
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I watch Cars. I mean, I suppose my favorite character in Cars has to be Mater.
everybody loves Mater.
Everybody
I'm
loves Mater.
I'm
But
sorry,
it's like
Mater.
this film actually. I've already got a good character in this actually, but you can't guess which character I quite enjoy watching in this film.
The boy.
No,
Really?
Granny.
Oh,
I think,
I do like Granny.
yeah, I think Granny as a supporting character, yeah, she's kind of like the baker in Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yes, she is. And she's
She,
also very supportive of both children, especially kind of when Satsuki has her child. She is a child, no matter how much she has had to step into her mother's role. And she kind of had to break down a little bit of it. And Granny is talking to her off to the side and kind of, it's just a cold. She's going to be fine. We understand how you are. And that is one thing that I think all people just kind of need to be is loved, hugged, and reassured, you
yeah,
know. And I think you say Granny is yours, but in all honesty, adult wise, my favorite would be the dad. That man is drops everything at the last minute, doesn't like scold or criticize when they finally find May all off in this little corner under the camphor tree. The first words out of his mouth is, "Ooh, this would be a cool hiding spot," you
mm,
know. Or when the suit sprites were there, he senses that. Well, he senses that Suzuki more than May is nervous, and he figures out, well, if we laugh, it'll make them go away.
yeah,
He is a tremendous father. Or even when he's so overwhelmed, when May comes up, you know, and she's like, "Okay, you can be the flower vendor, Daddy," and she puts all the little flowers at the edge of his desk, and then
oh,
she's like, "Is it lunchtime yet?" And he's like, "We just ate," and you can hear the frustration in his voice because he needs to get this work done, but it is still he drops everything for those kids. He is a on point on their father, giving good explanation, and he even went so far as to take them to one of the Shinto shrines above the camphor tree because that camphor tree was huge and it was like at different levels.
hmm,
And to sit there and explain to them, okay, these are the forest spirits. You know, if you saw one that that means that they wanted you to see it. And he takes a tremendous time out of his frustration and I'm sure worry for his wife as well, to do that and be an all present and almost overly present father because he's working two roles or three if you think about it. He's the dad, he's the main provider of the money and everything he has to have done for his job, and he's filling in for the mom. So
actually, I think, yeah, at one stage, doesn't he call Totoro King of the Forest?
yes, he does.
I'll be back in a minute. I seem to have, I'm having, no, it's gone. I was
Well,
having, I was having bleed over.
oh, you had a suit sprite in there. He was
I have
letting
something
have
in here.
it. The other thing that I really, one of the main things that really emotionally got me was when the girls go see their mother in the hospital. The mother can sense, and like you said earlier, you think it was stress. She can sense how stressed out Sasaki is because she's sitting there and she's brushing her hair. And that's the thing I used to love to do with my daughter is to just sit there and brush her hair. She hated it because she has a sensitive scalp like I do, and I hated it, when my mother did it to me. But it's still a very bonding. You can talk about, this is I understand.
Yeah.
You're stepping into a role you shouldn't have to step into for me. You know,
Well, I've got to say thank you to a friend of mine actually for a like.
oh,
A very dear friend called Sabrina Pandora.
oh, why? Thank you,
Um,
Sabrina.
she has given us a like. She does comic books. She does comic books.
Oh,
Very talented person is our Sabrina actually. Very
what
talented person.
what kind of comic books does she do?
Um, Actually, big. I think one of her characters is called the Giantess. It's a big woman that goes around sorting problems out. She's good at it.
Um, is it anime style or?
No, it's more. I would say it's more for 50s, 60s comic style. You know, remember
Oh,
the early
yeah.
Batman style, the early Superman style?
Yeah. Oh, that would be
It's
fun.
that kind of style.
Oh, that's phenomenal. You know, because we have both you and I, we have a very good friend who is a tremendous writer, you know, for a lot of different things, and that's Bobby Nash. And
Mm,
some of the stuff that he does, and he did a set series of books. There were six of them regarding different major points in history, like the Titanic going down, the Chicago fire, the Great Earthquake, and the person that he had do for the animation for all this, because it was basically an adult comic book, was a tremendous artist, and I would
mm,
love to have that artist on.
mm.
So,
So Sabrina's comic book is, I suppose, one could classify it as an adult comic book. It's not for kids. Definitely not for kids.
you
But
there's
she's quite outgoing as our Sabrina. Actually, you probably get to like her if you ever run across her on Facebook. You and her would probably hit it off.
ooh, now you make me want to go find her and friend her.
She's quite a character. Very forthright. Oh, I will warn you on that. She's very forthright in her opinions.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that, as we have seen from other shows.
Uh, really?
No,
I would never have guessed that one. You forthright? Nah, can't believe that.
no,
You're not that kind.
I'm the little shrinking violet. I can't handle the abuse and the people saying, you know. Sorry,
Excuse me, I'm having a
can't even
drink here. I don't want to choke.
I can't even say that with a straight face. I'm sorry.
Hmm. Well, there is a certain individual that has that sort of effect on people. Yeah, I'll give you that. He can be like that. But
um,
I was just looking at some of this for things in the UK.
hmm
The film Studio Ghibli's anniversary releases appear on the annual lists of the 10 best selling foreign language films on
oh,
home video. And for 5 consecutive years, ranking 7th in 2015, 6th in 2016 and 17, and then number 1 in 2018, and then it dropped to number 2 in 2019. Guess what it lost out to? I'll give you a clue. We reviewed it.
oh, oh, it's a Ghibli. Okay. Um, Spirited Away.
Bingo.
Okay,
So 2019, it lost out to Spirited Away.
that's acceptable. That's acceptable.
Yeah,
Spirited Away was a phenomenal movie.
definitely. Definitely one of the best. Definitely
Most
one of the best.
definitely. Most definitely. Um, I literally could go on talking about My Neighbor Totoro for like the next 4 hours.
Well,
Uh,
please regale us. Regale us. I mean, I'm a newbie at this particular film, so
oh no,
I
no,
can't
no,
make a
no.
lot of comments on it. I mean, I made a few statements here, but
That's
there's not a lot there.
but that's why I wanted to do this with you. Like I said, I know this movie forwards, backwards, inside and out. Where this was your first walkthrough, so I really wanted a true, besides a breakdown, I wanted a true review. What
Yeah.
you thought of it?
Oh yeah. I mean, personally, what did I think of it? It's a good family film. It's 88 minutes, but it doesn't seem that way. As with all good Ghibli films, you sit down, you're watching it, and all of a sudden, roll credits, and you think, "What? That it?" Because you're so into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, could it have gone on a wee bit longer? Yeah, hell yeah. I wouldn't have minded it going on for about another 10 minutes. I would have enjoyed it. I'm sure Mr. Miyazaki could, sit down, scratch his bum, engage brain, and work his magic. I would have enjoyed it, but one has to take what one can get, and I mean,
Now, will this be on your regular watch rotation?
it will probably be on a watch list. I mean, with what I've got behind me, but when I
Not
start
like
when I
Boy
start
and the
at that
Heron.
end, by the time I get to this end, I've kind of forgotten what's at this end. So I go back, and
Back through it.
sometimes I go up the top here to play with what's up here, which is all the series. So
Not kind of like Boy and the Heron that you watch, what was it, 4 times in a row or something?
we will talk about that in two
Yeah,
weeks' time
I
because
know.
you know my opinion on the Boy and the Heron,
Yep, I know. So,
and it's a film which, to be perfectly frank, um, when you first watch it, you think, "What the hell have I just seen?" But we will go into that in 2 weeks' time for the Boy and the Heron.
exactly. Exactly. I just wanted to throw that tag teaser out there. Um, One of the big things for me that I absolutely loved, and I was actually surprised that you either didn't notice it or didn't bring it up, was as usual Miyazaki's art. You can hear so many things. It's like you could hear the river as it was bubbling along under the bridge. When the girls first moved in, you could see that. You can hear the wind blowing through the grass. You can hear the birds
Yeah,
singing.
I will give it one thing: the opening scene where it just opens up. Excuse me, and that rather large vista that they have with the trees and all of that
Hmm.
before they come along in that tricycle thing that they move it. If you look at that, when I first saw it, I thought, "Oh, the film stopped," but it wasn't. It was just it showed you that whole vista for about what minute, 2 minutes before the tricycle come along, tricycle moped come chugging along. That to me was almost like a painting.
Yes, it was.
It would not look out of place on your wall
No,
or in an art you know theatre. It would not look out of place. It
no.
just
And
it
like
was
I said,
pretty.
his artwork is so unbelievably exceptional. And even
In
then,
this
look,
film, in this
yeah.
film, yes. I mean, you look and you see trees, and they are big, round, really fluffed out trees. They've been there a long time. They've got history, and you
Well, look at
can,
that camphor tree. It's huge.
yeah. There is a tree actually. I can't remember where it is. There is a tree somewhere in Japan which looks very similar to that, and it's got the rope around it because
Oh,
those ropes,
really?
yeah, that rope around it's normally white.
Hmm.
And I do remember somewhere. I think it's in the grounds of a shrine, and I'm trying to rack my brains. I have seen it on a documentary on NHK. Um, they showed you this big shrine and took you around, and in the middle of this shrine is this huge. I don't know if it's a camphor tree, but it's a huge tree, and it's got the white rope around it
Oh,
because
really?
that's where the spirit of the shrine lives, in the tree. When he's not in the tree, there's a special part of the temple complex. It's a little house built specially for the spirit to live in
Oh,
that little bit of the house.
I've always thought that was so cool. And this film, even though not heavily into the Shintoism, like some of the others that we have reviewed, it is definitely there, and you do see it. It's
Oh yeah,
actually kind of woven throughout the movie with the father talking about, the forest spirits, and then going to see them and thanking, the tree for protecting them and continuing to keep watch over them. And that is very Eastern philosophy as well, not necessarily just Japanese, but Eastern in general.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, right, that is, without doubt, that is a Shinto temple.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only one part of it. You'll probably find that behind that building are other little buildings where you can't go.
Most likely.
um, the fact that these statues are in there is quite surprising because, as a side note, in Tokyo, there is a graveyard, um, and it's where the first shogunate was buried.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, and in that cemetery, there is a part put to one side for the souls of children that die in childbirth or
Oh, okay.
childlike child illnesses. And when you see pictures of it, there are rows of those statues, and they've all got little red bibs around them.
Okay. What does the little red bib signify? Do you know?
It's I I'm not off the top of my head. I'm not sure. It's a tradition that's gone back hundreds and hundreds of years. It signifies something. But when these children, when they die, they're given, like, allocated a statue, which they're supposed to then go through to talk to the spirit of the child. Um, the toys and such like are inside the temple for, I think, is a week, and then it's moved outside to the statue, and then the parents come and talk to the statue. So it's quite a well known place. So
Hmm.
I would actually go looking for it, but I have to have a look, see if I can find it. Nope, that's not it.
Oh, you're awake, but you don't bother to actually pop in.
Who dat?
That is my daughter.
Oh,
Look what she put.
yes, my favorite movie.
Yep.
Oh, well, she. Oh dear, right. Here we go. I found it. I have
Y'all
found it.
found it. You found it.
Yep, I found it.
You know, here's
Look.
the, I was gonna say, here's the thing while you're still looking it up, going back to, the themes of, the theories that it's, a death thing or whatever. Um, did you know that the cat bus stop sign, it literally translates into path to the grave?
No, I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't. But here you go. Look, there's those statues there. See them all?
Oh, yeah.
This is the Zojoji Temple in Tokyo,
Okay.
and this entire area is dedicated to the children,
Oh,
and that's
I
all it is. This is all dedicated to children that have lost their lives through, you know, early early death,
yeah.
miscarriage, and what have
Now,
you.
is it the parents that will bring a statue to the
Yeah,
oh, That it's got to be a huge shrine, though.
Yeah. But it's in the same graveyard as the very first shogun of Japan.
Wow. Any particular reasoning behind that?
Um, I'm not aware of one. This is as you walk through, this is one of the first things you see is this rather large statue of one of the gods or goddesses. I think
Yeah.
it's a god. As you see, you have the water there to purify your hands and everything else before you progress into it. And
I
as
just
you
think,
can see,
although it's so incredibly sad, it's also so incredibly beautiful.
yeah. But this is all for children. That's all for children.
Wow.
So they do. I must be honest. This Joji Temple. I learned about it years ago. I used it in my creative writing. Um, it's just literally unbelievable to actually the garden of unborn children it comes under. The rows of statues are dressed up to mourn children that are lost before birth. The Shijoji Temple dates back to the 14th century and is the main shrine of the Judodo-su sect of Buddhism. The 600-year-old temple houses the mausoleum of the then ruling Tokugawa family, including the remains of 6 shoguns.
Oh, there's a total of 6.
There's 6 shoguns in there. Visitors wander the grounds of the historic temple and come across a unique and somber space of the unborn children garden. This garden is filled with stone Jesus statues representing unborn children lost to miscarriages, abortions, stillbirths. Some of the statues are decorated with clothes and toys to help the families through the grieving process. It is also a place to leave offerings for the Jisubura, the Buddhist protector of women and children, to assure that the souls make this a safe transition to the afterlife. Once a month, the Zoji Temple carries out the Mizuku Kuyu, a memorial service available to anyone who's had a pregnancy loss, stillborn, or parental loss. Participants make small red cloth pouches for offerings to their children, figures that I've shown you.
Mm-hmm.
The figures are Jesu or even Jesus, surprise, surprise. The pouches are draped around the statue while incense is lit and the priest chants. The ceremony is short and simple but powerful. Offerings are left in the prayer room for a month before being moved to a fence in the garden.
I like that. I like the way that they're taking care of it as well.
Yeah, so there you go. That is a place if you ever if you ever visit Tokyo and you want to see this sort of thing for the children, or go and see the 6 shoguns.
I think that would be fascinating. I think going into it, I would probably be so sad knowing the more I see of those, little statues and all, to know it represented a child. But I think it'd be very interesting to see, where the 6 shoguns are.
Yeah. So, see, I go digging for these weird and wonderful things about Japan because I'm interested.
Oh no, yeah, I don't blame you on that. Um, and I kept trying to think, what would be a really interesting food to go with this? And I'm sorry, all I could think of was the stuff you would normally put in a bento box. You do know what a bento box is, correct?
Oh, yeah, I know what a bento box is.
Yeah. Well, our audience might not. So, do you want to explain it, or do you want me to?
Well, as far as I'm aware, the definition of a bento box is a what we Westerners would call a lunch box, but it's not. It's a bit more than that. It has fruit, vegetables, rice, all sorts in there. They can be any size, from
Mm-hmm.
about that to slightly larger, deeper.
Yeah.
You know, um, you will actually find if you go to, again, I keep mentioning this, Shinjuku Station. There is a stall, a shop in Shinjuku Station, and they're quite renowned for selling bento boxes to the railway passengers. You can go there and they will show you what bento boxes are there on the day that they've made, and you pick your bento box, then off you go with your bento box. That's
And
as far as I'm aware a bento box is.
you were 100% correct. Normally, there is some sort of a pickled product as a palate cleanser,
Mm-hmm.
rice, definitely a protein. Two of my absolute favorites are teriyaki salmon and teriyaki chicken. There's normally some sort of vegetable, maybe even a salad mixed up in it, you know. And like you said, sometimes there's a fruit or something to go along with it,
Yeah,
but it's all intermingled as far as it's individual little squares that you can like, okay, I'm going to take this piece of meat and put it on this piece of rice, or I want the pickled daikon radish with that, or ginger with that, or whatever. And it's pretty much, you can even westernize it as much as you want. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't like all this stuff, but I'm gonna have the teriyaki chicken and rice. Most people, no matter how picky they are eating, they're fine with that, and just kind of go from there and just build it your own. And like I said, the more I thought about this movie, trying to come up with a recipe, this was the only thing that seemed to fit because that's what she made for lunch.
yeah. Well, here you go. There is a bento box showing you exactly what's in a bento box.
Well, what's
Um,
in their bento box, but yeah.
yeah, that is a bento box. You have your rice down there at the bottom,
Hmm.
your veg. That at the top there looks like a stew. Um, and I would say that looks like breaded chicken or probably breaded pork, would you say?
That's probably chicken or pork katsu.
Yeah, breaded, isn't it? It's done in breadcrumbs.
Yeah, it's pounded very very thin, and like flour and egg washed, and then just rolled in probably panko crumbs.
Yeah. I mean, there's another one.
Yeah.
These are the
So
sorts of things that you can put, as I
that's
said, the
much
shop.
that some of those are much more Americanized. That you previous one that you showed was very Americanized. Mm,
Yeah,
that one looks like a teriyaki chicken and rice and a little bit of salad and palate cleanser or something.
yeah,
But yeah, you can absolutely, like I said, do whatever you want to make it you.
yeah.
If
That's the
you
sort of one. That one there, I would say, is the sort of one that you would buy in that shop in Shinjuku Station. They would make that up for you. Probably not in such a fancy box, but that's the sort of thing they would make up and sell to you to eat on the station, on the train.
yeah, yeah. And, ooh, I just saw a wonderful piece of sushi. But what?
Nothing, nothing there.
It's food
Well,
porn to me. I'm sorry. I
yeah,
love sushi. Um, but that is one thing that no matter if you are a very, very picky eater, you don't like the quote unquote exotic tastes, you can make it to your own whatever.
yeah.
So
I mean, they do actually make these things up. Cute little bento boxes you know, for the kids and things. If you want cute bento boxes, there you go.
Oh yeah.
See, they make all these little things up. I mean, I believe isn't that made up of rice? That teddy
Yeah.
bear face is
Yeah, it
made
looks
from
like a
rice,
rice. Yeah, a rice bowl. Rice
and
balls. Yeah.
it looks like underneath the teddy bear isn't. Would you say those are pancakes?
No, I think they're crackers.
Crackers. I
Like
know
with
you've
like
got
like with.
tomatoes. Tomatoes around there, and the top I think is olives. I would say that. Would you
Yeah,
say?
no, they're olives, tomatoes, crackers, and that actually might be a dip. Let's see if I can blow up my screen a little larger. No, that's rice.
Yeah, but as I
Yeah.
say, you've got all these different. Look at this. There's the one I'd probably end up
Yeah,
with.
that looks like pot stickers and rice. Maybe an egg and
That's an egg. That's an egg sleeping under a slice of ham. I would say.
uh, I'm just trying. Yeah, the orange part. I'm trying to figure out that because that doesn't look like ham to me. That's.
That
I think that's salmon.
orange part, I
That's
would
salmon.
say, is it lemon or is it carrot?
No, I think it's salmon.
It could be salmon. It looks quite thick for salmon, though.
Yeah, it's a good sushi slice.
So, what would you say that is above the salmon?
Um, the green or the other stuff.
The other stuff, the one, two, three,
That looks
four,
like a pot
five.
sticker.
You reckon?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Just from, like I said, I tried to blow it up as far as I could, but yeah, it looks like a pot sticker.
Okay, okay. But that's the sort of stuff that you get in bento boxes. We digress yet again. We go off on a tangent.
No, not really, because it is dinner and a movie, so we went
Yeah,
into the food part, so we're perfectly fine.
yeah. We are trying to express our love of bento boxes.
Just our love of Japanese food, more likely. Um, and I just realized that it is almost an hour and a half since we've been on air.
What
And I
again?
know it is Sunday and game day for a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, not yet though. Not yet.
not yet for you. I have a house full arriving.
Oh, do you?
Remember, Sundays are my chaotic days.
Oh, yeah. Sunday is your high days and holidays and busy days.
Hmm.
Whereas,
When aren't I busy? When aren't I busy?
well, yeah, exactly. You get for volunteering. You know what they say when you're in the forces? Never volunteer for anything.
Anything.
No,
Never, never,
because
never, never, never.
you see, that's why when we were in the army, the sergeant said, I wanted 3 volunteers. You kept your gob shut because you can guarantee they'd say, I want 3 volunteers, you, and you. And you go, I didn't volunteer. And they go, did you sign a bit of paper? Yes. Then you volunteered.
Volunteered.
Too late. You volunteered. Off you go.
One thing though that I did want to mention, just in general, on one of our sister programs, we have a couple of really, really interesting people coming up for some of our interviews with Appreciates Talent. The one that I am absolutely so stoked for is on Tuesday at 11 o'clock Pacific time. We're going to have Ray Ryan Vincent, who is all up and down and verticals. Plus, he has been in so many major movies. It's not even funny. In fact, he's got another major movie coming out. And so, if any of you are interested in that, pop over to us for that one. And then also on the Thursday, the 18th, at 10 o'clock Pacific time, those of you that are interested in The Librarians, the next chapter, we have an actress from that coming on. So, anytime you guys are bored with us, want to see more of, oh, we want to listen to contestants from The Voice and find out more about their life, or we are totally addicted to, and believe me, thousands and thousands of people have become addicted to these verticals, which are like little short vignettes of everything soap opera-ish, but overblown on the air. We have had so many actors and actresses from that, and just in general, different artists. So definitely give our sister group station, whatever you want to call it, which is Talented Universe, a chit chat, or hit us up and take a look at some of the stuff.
Yeah,
So
like and subscribe Talented Universe because they could do with it.
yes, we definitely could. So on that note, if there was nothing else, Miss Trouble Number One.
No, no, not
Oh,
for me.
hang on, hang on, hang on. Hey, Ashley. Love the fact that you got the new apartment, girl. You got to have us over there to see it. This is one of my daughter's first school friends that they were in preschool together, and the girls kind of grew up together. Well, she just moved into her first apartment with her fiance, boyfriend, whatever. I'm not sure what he is yet. So, girl, you need to go back and check if you were into My Neighbor Totoro. You need to go back and check all of our other stuff under the Troublesome Twosome because we have a ton of Ghibli movies we've done.
Yeah,
Alrighty. Love yous. Bye. All right.
she gave us a love as well.
Oh, I love Ashley. She is one of the sweetest, sweetest young ladies you will ever meet.
Yeah,
And her mom is an angel as well.
she gave us. Sabrina gave us a like, and Ashley gave us a love heart. So there you go.
Aw.
That was
Yay.
nice of her, wasn't it?
Very much so. So, as much as I hate to wrap this up, because like I said, I could probably go on for another 2 or 3 hours of it.
Yes,
It
you probably could.
Yeah, I probably could. Like I said,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's you. I mean, I knew
You
when this was coming up.
think I'm a friend?
Yeah,
You
as
know
I
my
s-
little toot sprites. You
yeah,
think I like this show?
as I said,
So,
I knew when it was coming up. I thought this is real. Oh, she loves you too.
yep.
um, I knew when this is coming up, I would probably end up sitting here letting you because it's your film.
Ramble, ramble.
Well, it makes a change because normally I'm the one that's doing all the waffling, and you're sitting there just nodding your head gently. This time it's you because you know the film inside out.
And then some, but I tried to cut it down in the description, and the description still went. What was it? 10 minutes me describing it.
Yeah, but then again, you see, if you love something that much, you will do that. I'm the
Yeah.
same. I get a film. See, I'm a real daft fan when it comes to things like Your Name or Spirited Away or Suzume. I'm so into them. I will go on for them for ages. So it's
Oh
expected.
yeah.
It's expected.
Yeah. Like I said, this is one movie that, like I said, I was pregnant with my daughter when we started watching it, and that was like, I knew that was, I wouldn't say her babysitter, but if I had something to do, yeah, put it in the DVR player and let it go. And that
Oh,
was one of the first movies when we would ever, because I would take a pack of ripped DVDs with us everywhere when we traveled, and we used to travel, and we used to do a lot of conventions and stuff. And that was one of the first things that I'd pop in the second we were in the hotel room. And I knew she'd be good while I went about and did all the unpacking and everything else. So
in other words, you blackmailed the girl.
could be, and she'd probably agree with you.
Yeah, you blackmailed the damn girl.
Yep.
Behave, you
So.
can have Totoro.
I just wish I could have brought the bigger cat bus on and my big Totoro, but these are bad enough that because of the background not fading. So at least that you're able to see those. So
No, don't worry about it. We enjoyed it, and as I said, it's nice for you to know the film and take the lead. It's good. It's good.
all right. On that note, I think I'm going to say, watch yourselves today. No drinking and driving. Have fun if you're watching the games. And may the odds ever be in your favor that your team wins. Most likely mine. So, all right. Thank you so much. And in 2 weeks, we'll be back with The Boy and the Heron. So,
Yeah.
Keep
Crazy
dreaming.
man. Adios,
Bye.
amigos.
Bye.